Good morning everyone. Basa na tayo ng ating libro guys. Kapwa ko Filipino, basa na tayo ng ating history. History of the Filipino People by Agoncillo and Guerrero. Today is 27 December 2022. History of the Filipino People Part 3, Reform and Revolution. Topic 11. The Revolution Second Phase. Dito tayo sa paragraph Aguinaldo Returns. Aguinaldo returns. Aguinaldo was convinced of the wisdom of the junta's decision, and so he prepared for his return to the Philippines. On May 7, the revenue cutter Macolots arrived in Hong Kong, but the master of the ship notified Aguinaldo that they did not instruct him to take Aguinaldo aboard. On the revenue cutter's second return to Hong Kong, however, Aguinaldo was notified that they had given instructions to the captain to have Aguinaldo return on board the Macolots. Consul Wildman made the arrangements for Aguinaldo's passage and suggested that he and his companions board the ship at night in order to avoid the suspicion of the Spanish consul at Hong Kong. The Macolots left Hong Kong at 11 in the morning of May 17 and arrived at Cavite on May 19. Ang tagal naman ng biyahe nito. Sa airplane ngayon guys, sa panahon natin is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Ito kasi naglalayag sa barko to So 2 days. Soon after Davy's lunch took him to the Olympia, where he was given honors due. General Aguinaldo alleged that in his conference with Davy aboard the latter's flagship, he was told that the United States needed no colonies and that there was no doubt that the United States would recognize Philippine independence. Davy, however, denied. He made much a statement to Aguinaldo and asserted that he treated with the Filipino general in a personal manner without committing the government of the United States. There is no sufficient evidence to back up Aguinaldo's contention. It is more probable that he mistook the personal attentions of the admiral as those of the American government. Renewal of the struggle. As soon as Aguinaldo had landed the war materials he had brought from Hong Kong, rebels from Bataan came to see him. Aguinaldo handed the copies of his proclamations urging the people to rally once more to the Filipino flag in the struggle against the Spaniards. Tapos na yung heater ko. Nasaan na yun? Mamaya na. Okay, ulit tayo guys. Renewal of the struggle. As soon as Aguinaldo had landed the war materials he had brought from Hong Kong, rebels from Bataan came to see him. Aguinaldo handed them copies of his proclamations urging the people to rally once more to the Filipino flag in the struggle against the Spaniards. The news of his return, nilapit ko. The news of his return spread throughout Central Luzon. A number of Filipino volunteers in the Spanish army defected to the Filipino forces. Aguinaldo ordered them to occupy the Lahican, the Cavite shipyard, to prevent the enemy from occupying it. Arms were secured from the captain of the American warship Renewal and distributed among the large number of Filipinos coming in to offer their loyalty and services to Aguinaldo. On May 21, assured that his people would not desert him, Aguinaldo issued a proclamation saying, "Everything appears favorable for attaining independence. I urge that we strive to unite our efforts and let us fire our hearts with the idea of vindicating our country. Many nations are on our side. On the last day of the present month at noon, we shall be able to rise all at once, and in case our enemies are aware of it, start doing so openly. When you hear that we are bombarding any of the towns of Salinas, Rosario, Nogolita, Naik, Tansa, Kawit, Bacoor, Las Piñas and Parañaque army began to move and follow up the enemy on his retreat, notwithstanding it would be better if you could come on so as not to scatter the arms too much. Day after day, Aguinaldo headquarters was besieged by patriotic rebels. By the end of May, Aguinaldo forces had captured about 5,000 prisoners. Imus, Parañaque, Bacood, and Las Piñas were captured from the enemy within a week. In Pampanga, San Fernando and Macabebe were captured by the rebels, forcing the Spanish General Monet to run for his life. Laguna, Batangas, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, Tayabas, Quezon, and Camarines were up in arms and declared their loyalty to Aguinaldo. So sweeping were Filipino victories that practically the whole of Luzon, except the port of Cavite and Manila, were in rebel hands by June 1898. Ilang oras na ba yan? Spanish attempts to win over Filipinos. The effect of Aguinaldo's return on the Spanish authorities was demoralizing. A few days The effect of Aguinaldo's return on the Spanish authorities was demoralizing. A few days after the event, Governor-General Basilio Agustin found himself betrayed by the Philippine soldiers who volunteered to the Spanish army. To counteract its total effect on the Filipino civilians, some Spaniards, with the consent and perhaps inspiration of the Governor-General, circulated a handbill entitled Viva la Autonomia, in which they stated that the salvation of the unity of the islands, the unity of its liberties, and the unity of its local and central government lay with Spain. Pedro A. Paterno, the negotiator of the Treaty of Tabato, was behind the circular, for he confessed at the time that he still loved Spain and was hostile to the United States. On May 28, General Agustin called the first and only Consultative Assembly and appointed prominent mestizos to sit in. His purpose in calling the Consultative Assembly was to win. Pag mestizos, guys, diba? Half Spaniards, half Filipino, ganyan. Okay, ulit. On May 28, General Agustin called the first and only Consultative Assembly and appointed prominent mestizos to sit in it. His purpose in calling the Consultative Assembly was to win over to his side the wealthy and influential segment of the Filipinos, namely the mestizos, and to make it appear that he had the welfare of the Filipinos at heart. Actually, however, the Consultative Assembly was nothing but a decoration, for its function was purely advisory and did not have the right to initiate reforms. Agustin's attempts to win over the Filipinos to the side of Spain failed. Tinitingnan ko yung kung aabot pa tayo kasi mahaba-haba yung paragraph. So, hanggang dito tayo sa the Siege of Manila. The Siege of Manila, what was then known as the city of Manila, was the walled city or Intramuros. The districts outside the city were called arrabales or suburbs. Soon after the destruction of the Spanish Navy, they blockaded Manila to prevent Spanish ships from entering or leaving the bay. Though helpless in the face of a powerful enemy, the Spaniards nevertheless continued hoping for a miracle. And they had so far not invaded or bombarded the city where thousands of Spaniards had sought refuge. Davy thought that it was useless to conquer the city by arms, for he did not have enough men to occupy it. He waited for reinforcements from the United States. Meanwhile, the Filipino forces under Aguinaldo besieged the city in an attempt to starve out the enemy within its walls. The suburbs like Tondo, Santa Cruz, San Juan del Monte, and as far north as Caloocan teemed with Filipino soldiers. To make the siege effective, Aguinaldo cut off the city's food and water supply. So effective was the strategy that the people inside the city, Spaniards as well as Filipino and aliens, suffered from hunger and thirst. It was only a matter of weeks before the Spanish authorities would surrender to Aguinaldo. So sila Aguinaldo talaga ang nag-effort guys na lumaban sa Spaniards. Sila Dewi naghintay pa ng reinforcements from the United States, pero sila Aguinaldo talagang umano na sa Spaniards, sumugod na sa Spaniards. On June 6 and again the following day, Aguinaldo offered Governor General Agustin honorable surrender, but Agustin thinking, pero bakit kasi nagpasako pa rin tayo sa United States? Diba tapos na dapat tayo sa Spaniards? Dapat na kaagad tayo. Malaya na kaagad tayo dyan. Ayan na, nakalagay. So effective was the strategy that the people inside the city, Spaniards as well as Filipinos and aliens, suffered from hunger and thirst. It was only a matter of weeks before the Spanish authorities would surrender to Aguinaldo. Diba? On June 6 and again the following day, Aguinaldo offered Governor General Agustin honorable surrender, but Agustin, thinking more of Spanish honor than his life, stubbornly refused to accept surrender, for in Spanish code of honor the word surrender was not existent. With this refusal, Aguinaldo continued the siege in the belief that hunger and thirst would finally compel the governor to give up the struggle. So hanggang dito na lang to. Bukas na yung the Spanish-American secret agreement. So dito tayo for December 28. Malapit na bagong taon guys. Bye everyone. God bless.